Welcome to Medicare School Daily. We're so excited to be with you here today. We are going to be talking about, I'm going to start over. Welcome to Medicare School Daily. We're so excited to be with you here today. If you are getting ready to start Medicare, or maybe you're already on Medicare and you were considering whether you're going to get a Medicare Plan G or a Medicare Plan N, that can be a difficult choice. We understand that. We've walked a lot of people through that. So if that is you, I want you to stay listening in today. The education portion of this show will be all about helping you make that decision easily. Okay, we're going to teach you a way to simplify that decision so that you can understand or know for confidence, should you get a Plan G or should you get a Plan N? This show is brought to you by MedicareSchool.com. My name is Josh Music. This is my dad, Marvin Music. We've been working together for 15 years helping people with Medicare. And so the purpose of today's show is to do a little Medicare education and then open up the phone lines and take your calls and give you a chance to get your personal Medicare, Social Security, retirement questions answered. So there's a phone number that's down at the bottom of the screen. It is 833-824-2004. 833-824-2004. Call in. We'd love to have just a few minutes to chat with you and make sure that you are crystal clear on everything Medicare or Social Security or retirement related. It is a live stream, but all of your personal information will be scrubbed, so you don't have to worry about that at all. I want to mention a couple things before we get started on the Plan G versus Plan N discussion. This show is on our Medicare School YouTube channel. We are going to be transitioning the show here in a couple of weeks to its own channel. So we want you to be able to continue watching this or continue listening to this. So go to Medicare School Daily, MedicareSchoolDaily.com, and look for the little YouTube icon. You can click on that, and it'll take you to the new channel, and you can click subscribe. And then in a couple of weeks, that's when it will start being streamed from that channel alone, and it'll fall off this main channel. If you're listening to us on a podcast app, we welcome you and appreciate you guys listening. You can catch us as you're driving, just on whatever your favorite podcast app is. So let's hop into Plan G versus N and how you can make sure you know which one's right for you.
All right, sounds good. Well, first let's talk about when people decide to get a G or an N plan, either one, they've made the decision to stay in the original Medicare system, which simply means that their care is going to be managed by Medicare and their doctor. It's not going to be managed by some private health insurance company. So that's the first thing. We're enrolled in A and B. You have to be in A and B in order to have a supplemental plan. And so both, in fact, all supplemental plans are designed to fill in the financial gaps that you're responsible for in original Medicare. I've said this a million times, but the only thing that Medicare covers 100% would be preventive services. And so everything beyond preventive services, there's always a balance of the bill. And so we call those gaps. Those are simply financial liabilities that you're responsible for. And you can transfer the majority of those gaps to an insurance company so they pay for it, just like we do with an auto policy. We transfer our risk of having a wreck to our automobile insurance company. If our home burns down, we transfer the risk of that to a homeowner's policy. So that's what Medicare supplemental plans are all about, giving you the opportunity to transfer some of that financial liability that you have in the original Medicare system to that health insurance company, so you don't have to be out of pocket. So you pay a premium for that, so you don't have to pay later. All right, so the top two plans today are the G and the N, and they're very close. I think about 60% of people today get G and about 40% get N, or thereabouts. It's pretty close. I went on Medicare in January of this year, and I chose a G. But honestly, I think both of them are wonderful options, primarily because they carry some of the same features. We said we're enrolled in A and B, but also when we're on either a G or an N plan, we get to select any doctor as long as they take Medicare. I love that because now we have unlimited choices. 100% of all hospitals take Medicare. 99% of non-pediatric doctors take Medicare. Pediatric doctors don't need to take Medicare. Obviously,
I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah, 99%, truly. Yeah, only 1% actually opt out. That would be some concierge doctors and then psychiatrists primarily. Yeah, so 99% of all docs are going to take Medicare. So the point is, you don't have to deal with networks. You have almost unlimited choices when it comes to providers. I also like the fact that with the supplemental plan, they can never impose any restrictions as far as the health care services that you get. Meaning, if Medicare says we'll cover this and doctor says you need it, then that supplemental plan, G or N, is going to follow. In other words, the insurance companies can never interfere. They can't delay coverage. They can't deny coverage. If Medicare covers, they're going to cover. And again, that's the same with the G or the N. I also like the fact that either one we go with is permanent. It's a policy that can never be terminated by the insurance company. It truly is lifetime. Well, they can terminate one way, and that's if you don't pay your premium. But other than that, that is a lifetime policy. So I like that. So we really don't have to worry about changes on the plan. The premium certainly can change, but not the coverage whatsoever. So the point is, I love those features. So when it comes really right down to it, if we go with the G or the N, G is going to be the most comprehensive. It's also more expensive than the N, but it's most comprehensive in that with all the Medicare gaps that exist, and there's 6 of them, 3 gaps on the A, 3 gaps on the B, the G plan covers every gap but the B deductible, and that's an annual amount. This year it's $283. So each year on my G plan, I'm responsible to satisfy that B deductible. Now, if I don't go to the doctor or have any services, I don't have to pay it. Yeah. But if I'm going to go to the doctor or any kind of issue comes up, I pay the first $283, and after that, I'm done. So it truly is 100% coverage after I've met my B deductible. Now, the 2 rules are I've got to go to a Medicare doctor, and I have to be getting a service that Medicare is going to cover. So as long as those 2 are taken care of, I'll never be out of pocket other than my B deductible, and that's on an annual basis. And so most comprehensive, again, most expensive as well. The plan below that, and again, ends as a second, just a step down. It's really a very good option. So what it does, it covers 4 of the 6 gaps. Meaning you have 2 gaps you're responsible for, which would be the B deductible, again, just like the G, and if you ever had an excess charge. Excess means that you've seen a doctor, because the only docs can do this. Surgeons, specialists, anesthesiologists, docs can do this. And that means they add 15% to the bill. We call that excess. Excess is very, very rare. We can never say it never happens, because it still happens, but not often. And so we would say anywhere from maybe 3 at most, 5% of the time would we ever see an excess charge. So if you had an excess charge and you're on an N plan, it's not covered. That would be out of your pocket. And then
can you give an example of an excess charge, like how the math works?
Yeah, okay. Let's just say a surgeon was approved for a $5,000 surgery, and they don't accept assignments, so they have the right to add 15% to that. So that'd be $750, I think, if my math's right. So then if I had the G plan, that $750 would be covered by my plan. If I had the N, that would be my responsibility. I kind of simplified that, but that's the way it works. And so if you ever see excess, you would be, that'd be out of your pocket. And so again, it's very, very rare. So the other thing that's different, and this is important to note, when we have a G plan, the 20% coinsurance is always paid. I meet my B deductible, and the 20% coinsurance is covered by my G plan. But with the N plan, what happens is that 20% coinsurance is covered, less a copay. I can be responsible for a $20 copay. Now, let's say the whole bill is $80. Medicare pays $64. I have a $16 balance. Then I pay $16. So my copay to the doctor can never be more than $20. So it just depends on where that coinsurance amount.
And this is on an N plan.
This is on an N plan. Okay. Exactly right. Because G doesn't have copays at all. So just the N will have the $20 copay. And then lastly, if I go to the emergency room and I'm not admitted to the hospital, then I'll have to pay a $50 copay to the ER. So again, very, very reasonable, not crazy high at all. But I will say this, we've had plenty of clients that say, hey, I'm going to the doctor 3 or 4 times a month. They just have issues. Well, they're probably not going to save any money by going to the N. Others that say, I'm very healthy, I want to sup, but I go to the doctor once or twice a year. I'm not really worried about excess. I can ask in advance. And so if they're not worried about that risk, then N can make sense. We just talked to a guy yesterday as we ran his rates. I think the difference was it $60?
Yeah, 50, 60 bucks.
Yeah, about somewhere between $50 to $60 between the G and the N. And that's,
on a monthly basis.
On a monthly basis. So that's substantial. And so if we're looking for something that still puts us in the MedSup features, but has a little bit more of a budget-friendly premium, then the N is a very, very good option. So I chose G only because in Missouri it was $35 difference. It wasn't a whole lot. But I think when I'm looking at a difference of $50, $60, sometimes even more than that, the end can really make sense. Both great plans.
How does this differ, like, from a Plan F? And I know we're talking about G versus N, but there's probably some listeners who have Plan Fs, and they may be in this situation where maybe that Plan F premium has started to go up.
Right.
And they're trying to decide between Plan G or N. So
Sure. Well, of course, your F plan is not an option for many people. It used to be. In fact, it was the number one plan. We sold tons of F plans, and F was a full coverage plan. So when we think about the gaps, F covered 6 of 6.
So you had Medicare and you had your F plan, and everything was paid for.
Yeah, you should never get a bill other than you pay your premium.
Yeah.
And so again, as long as the 2 rules apply, you would see a doc that takes Medicare and get a Medicare coverage service. We would never see a bill. So that was the F plan. Medicare changed the rules effective 1/1/2020. So anyone that goes effective on Medicare after 1/1/2020, F's not an option. Anyone prior to that, they can still get an F plan. They can keep their F plan their whole life. So a lot of people today that are on F plans that are still, generally healthy, we would recommend get off of those. And the reason for that is because you're paying at least $50 a month, sometimes $100 more a month.
Yeah,
at least.
150, yeah.
Just for that be deductible to be covered. So our point is, if you can save at least $25 a month, you ought to move right to that G or to the N plan.
Let's pause on that for a minute.
Yeah.
So you're saying the difference between an F and a G is that F plan, you have no Part B deductible, which is $283 a year.
Right.
G plan, you would have that deductible. So as long as the G plan is $25 a month cheaper, you're coming out ahead. But in many cases, we've seen it's probably $100, $150 a month cheaper. And so
it's
you
substantial.
end up saving, $1,000, $1,200 a year, and you pick up a small deductible. Not to mention you get kind of in a group, a block of business of younger, healthier, more people coming into that, which will probably mean better price stability. Because the people in F plans, what's happening is, the people that are healthy are hopping out. The people that are on F plans that can't get out because to switch, you have to medically qualify.
Right.
They stay on that, and then what ends up happening is those plans go into what they call a death spiral, meaning only the sick people are on the plan.
Right.
They're collecting premiums. They're paying out because everyone's getting older, a bunch of bills, and it just becomes worse and worse and more expensive. So if you're in that situation and you're healthy, you ought to try to switch.
Yeah,
right?
I would totally agree with that. And I think the reason that people don't is they're just fearful.
Yeah, scared. Yeah.
And let me remind
sense.
really all of us that, if you want to switch supplemental plans, you're normally going to have to go through underwriting to do that. It's our job to try to find a carrier that will accept you. But if you don't get approved, there's no harm done. Because when we make an application for a supplemental plan, we're not notifying your present insurance company. We're looking to the new insurance company to apply and to approve the policy. If they approve you, we're good to go. And if they don't, there's no harm done whatsoever. And we have a pretty good feel for what we can get through underwriting and not, and we'll be honest about that. And some carriers are a little bit more lenient in some areas than others. But it's our job to try to find someone to do that and really help you to save money. But what Josh said is true, and that is that you not only save money, but you're now resetting the clock, going back into a new group that's larger, that's younger. And so I think the net effect of that would be also stable rates for the long haul.
Okay, I wrote down a couple questions as you were talking. So what is the price difference between a Plan G and a Plan N? If you could just speak to that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's just talk about yesterday. I think we had a Plan G that was running right about $160, if I'm not mistaken, and a Plan N was about $102 or right around $100.
Yeah.
So,
I remember we ran another one. It was like I think $140 versus $90.
Yeah, that's
for
right.
Plan
So
Ns.
almost always $50 to about $60. And
so if we do the math on that, so if you save $50 a month by going with a Plan N, what's 50 times 12?
Yeah, $600. Right.
So you'd have to essentially spend. How many times do you have to go to the doctor?
That'd be what, 30 doc visits?
30 doctor visits.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to go to the doctor that much.
Yeah, that's right. And ER, you probably, maybe once a year, if ever.
So Plan N can be, especially those of you who are maybe been on a Plan G for 5-6 years, maybe that premium's crept up because there's been some price stable, kind of redoing of all these med sup books as they've been trying to get their prices in order. Like switching to a Plan N can oftentimes, for people who are on a Plan G, but a really good cost savings.
It really is.
Yeah, and
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure. So I think when we look at both of those plans and set them side by side. I mean, I still like the G.
And G is the most popular.
That's right, of course. But I mean, we're talking about a close second.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of those.
And I would say in 5 years that will be, or maybe even less, that will be reversed. There'll be more people getting plan N's than plan G's, maybe.
Yeah,
I would think so, because that trend seems to be that direction. Is there anyone who shouldn't get a plan G?
Anyone who shouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, I think if it doesn't fit the budget, I wouldn't do it. Okay. That to me is the most important aspect. You want to be able to afford it. Of course, we've been in insurance 17 years, 15 in Medicare, and so I've seen plenty of people that wanted something they couldn't afford, still try to get it, but they don't keep it because it doesn't fit the budget. Yeah. If you can't afford the G, don't do it. That ends an awesome option.
And then obviously, in my mind, $20 copay, see a doc, $50 to go see a specialist or go to the ER. It's not really a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. That excess charge could be a little bit higher concern, even though it only comes out, 2, 3, 4. It's just very small. Right. But there are some states that don't have excess, which may tend to go go with a plan N. Right?
I would agree.
So what are those states? Because I don't know them.
I can tell you, first off, New York does have excess, but it's limited to 5%. So that's the first one. So they can't add the full 15. They can only add 5. Next one would be Ohio. No excess charges there. Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Massachusetts, Vermont. No excess charges, and then Connecticut, no excess charges if you're a qualified Medicare beneficiary, which most people that are QMBs, which means they have Medicare, Medicaid, they're not going to be on a sub plan anyways. But that is the difference. So we have 6 states that no way they can't charge, and then you have the 2 kind of limited. New York limited to 5%, and then Connecticut, no one that would be on Medicaid, but. Again, they're not going to have a sub plan anyway. So those are the 8 states. Now, we had a couple of people from Pennsylvania that called in yesterday, and they knew they didn't have to pay excess, which is great. But if they, go somewhere else, go to Wisconsin or wherever they would go, they can still charge excess. So the point is, we're only protected in that state from having excess charges. If we go somewhere else for some cancer specialty or whatever, then we could still encounter an excess charge. But again, I wouldn't be fearful of that. It's so limited, but we just know we have to be compliant, and that is we would never say they're gone, because that's not true. They still exist. Sure. It just is rare.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense. So let's kind of wrap up everything we've said. If you were to say this in a paragraph, or say how can someone be sure, hey, how can we simplify this for someone in terms of G versus N?
Right. Okay. So I'd say it this way. Number one, they both have wonderful features that are very similar. The difference would just simply be how much risk someone's comfortable to take. Now, if money is no object, take a G.
Every time.
Really,
every time.
Might as well. It's fine. But if money's a little bit on the tighter side where you're concerned, and we all have to live within our means, then an N is a very, very good option. I think in Florida right now it's like $100 difference, or
maybe 75.
75 or whatever. So there are some states it's substantial. So to me, that's kind of a no-brainer.
Okay.
But again, people need to decide, what they're really comfortable with. And just because I went with the G doesn't mean I think everybody should go with the G. I'm telling you, in our state, Missouri, it was $35 difference.
Yeah.
So it was pretty easy for me.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Okie doke. Hey guys, if you want to be on the show today or get your questions answered from truly the nation's leading Medicare educator, which is my dad right across the table from me, educated millions of people, more than anyone else in this country as it relates to Medicare, this is your opportunity to speak to him. Get your questions answered for your particular situation. There's probably not many situations he hasn't seen. So I'd love to connect with you all and just have a chance to answer your questions. I also wanted to mention MedicareSchool.com. We do a lot of education, but we also have a team of brokers that work for us right outside these studio doors. There's about 100 people that come to work every day wanting to help people with their Medicare education and Medicare enrollments. So we're going to be comparing every day people's Medicare Advantage versus Medicare Supplements, Plan G versus N, quotes, prices, what carriers are most rate stable, what the right drug coverage is. And then we'll walk you through all that and then help you do those enrollments. And then you become a client of ours for life. And you're assigned a dedicated client care manager that you can work with and ask your questions. If there's claims issues or billing issues, or you lost your cards, or you move across town and you need a different drug plan, or whatever it is, we are here for life to assist you. And so we'd love to work with you. Those services, the services offered by our company, are completely free. You don't pay your auto insurance agent to help you with this, or you don't pay your life insurance or your homeowner's insurance agent. It's just how it is. We are paid by the insurance carriers whenever we bring on clients. And so we would love to be able to assist you if you would like. The phone number to schedule an appointment with somebody on our team is 833-833-3661. That's 833-833-3661. You can call in. We're open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time every single day. And we would love to speak with you and have the opportunity to serve as your Medicare broker.
Yeah, I just want to add something to that as we think about our team. Everyone that works here, I have personally trained, and we have others that, of course, help, but I know them, I've trained them, and we trust them. And our philosophy in our company has always been really no pressure. You have some pressure anyways because you got to make some decisions once you go on Medicare, but we're not going to apply that pressure. And also, we truly approach this. We're neutral. We're not biased in regards to your plan selection. Our agents are paid the same whether they take an Advantage plan or whether you get a supplemental plan. It doesn't matter. We care that you're getting the plan that you really want, and all of our agents know that. So we're not going to put a pressure on you to get a plan that's not in your best interest. I will tell you, our industry, predominantly, its Advantage plans are really pushed heavily because the commissions are higher. The residual income is longer. So we are really incentivized to write Advantage plans. And in our practice, we write them. About 1 out of 4 clients have Advantage plans, and they need them. And so we're glad that we got to set them up on that great coverage. But we're not going to push something so we make more money. We're not wired that way. We've never done that, and we're not going to do that. And so I think the appointment also, I want to mention this, that when you do business with us, we will be thorough. I mean, and we talk about all the time, thorough, quality. We're not in a rush. Now, we're going to take longer than we need to, but we're going to take the ample time to make sure you truly understand your options, the consequence of those options, so that you make that decision with confidence. That's been our goal ever since we started. And so that's the kind of experience we want people to have. And if not, I want to hear about it. I do. We want to make sure everyone is served very, very well.
Love it. Okay. Before we get to the phones, I want to mention, or we're going to answer some questions. So we have a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We got a Facebook group with 60,000 people or so in it, real people that ask questions every single day, just like yourself. And so we're going to ask, we printed off a couple of the questions here, and we're going to engage with those real quick, get those answered. But join that Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok if that's your thing, because we put out educational content every single day on all of these platforms. Inside the MedicareSchool.com Facebook group, my dad goes live Mondays and Thursday nights at 5 o'clock Central Time, teaching on a topic of Medicare. So there's a lot of education you can get on all these platforms. So pull up one of these comments. So Jim Spaz says, this guy pushes supplemental plans because there's more profit for the agents. Talk to 2 to 3 healthcare agents if you have questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is there more? It says there's more profit for agents in supplemental plans. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. There is not. There is profit. We wouldn't do it if there wasn't. No one can work for free. But the truth is, we make about half of the commission, initial commission, with supplemental plans versus Advantage plans. Advantage plans just pay more, and that's a fact. Now, the only way, and you would know this, of course, but a lot of people may not, but the only way you really survive in this business is you just have to do volume. Yeah. Someone that doesn't do volume is not going to make it. Yeah, that's exactly right. We do not make a lot of money off anyone. It just doesn't work that way. And so what happens, though, the way insurance works is we're paid residual. So we get an initial commission. The initial commission on a supplemental plan will be half of what we'd get initially on an Advantage plan for sure. And then what happens is all insurance pays residual. We get an ongoing income stream for a while.
As long as you're the client.
Yeah, of course.
Well, actually, that's different. On Advantage plan, it's as long as you're the client.
Yes, lifetime.
For the supplement plan, it's like 5-6 years, something
exactly.
like that.
About 6 years, we get paid residual. So someone who signs up with an Advantage plan is much more profitable for us than someone who takes a supplemental plan. So this person has just been given wrong information, and that happens.
Okay,
but,
Jim Spaz, you're just wrong.
Yeah.
there's not more profit on
no,
supplement
there's not
plans.
whatsoever.
I wish there was.
Come to work in the business, you'd see that.
Okay, I'm not sure how she says her name, Jifrenozel, whatever. She says, what do you do when your employer offers you a retirement plan that seems fairly comprehensive, yet when the actual paperwork arrives, its name is completely different, and you realize by the name on the new paperwork, it's a Medicare Advantage offered as Blue Shield PPO.
Yep.
I never would have signed up for the Advantage plan. So she kind of feels like she got duped.
Yeah, exactly right. And this is the trend. These insurance companies, these employers today, they're transferring all this risk to Advantage companies. They're glad to take it. Sure. So it really helps the employer. It doesn't help the employee. So here's the way this works. Hopefully, she is still within her initial enrollment period. And if she is, then she's going to be able to, get off of that Advantage plan and go ahead and take a supplemental plan. Of course, we can get supplemental plans within 6 months of her B date with no medical underwriting. We know that. But if she's been on that for a while, then what happens is there may be a possibility that she can get off that plan. And now she may have to go through underwriting to do that because that would be voluntary loss of coverage. And in some states, you have to medically qualify. Other states, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, you can move back to original Medicare and get a supplemental plan. So what I would recommend, call us, and because I don't know exactly where she lives and what the specific rules would be, but the point is she probably has a way to exit that.
That would be good.
Yeah, exactly right. But sometimes not. But again, your employer plans are almost always going to be Advantage plans.
And if you're offered an employer plan, just always go and look at what's on the open market.
Yeah, compare.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like for years, the only place that employer Advantage plans ever had a advantage, in my opinion, was on their drug coverage if someone was on really expensive meds, right? Because they had kind of like these different loopholes or like ways that they covered the drugs a little better. But generally, your benefits available, what's available on the open market, is oftentimes better. So, okay, Real Steel 8113 said, I refused all Medicare, and I pay way less for all Medicare medical care than anyone who is on Medicare. And he did a little emoji with the sunglasses, like he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
You want to speak to that?
Yeah, well, that's real interesting. I can assure you what I would suspect is that this person has really never had any kind of serious health issue.
He probably didn't pay into the Social Security system either. So he just refused it all because he'd have to pay for it.
Yeah,
why would you not take at least a free Part A?
I was going to say there'd be no reason. Medicare is a tremendous value.
Yeah.
Even if you have an IRMA, your high income, Medicare is. I have an IRMA, and my overall Medicare cost is still less than what it costs us to have this group plan.
Sure. Oh,
okay.
for sure.
So I'm just saying to you, it is just not true. Now that's a person that's probably healthy, rolling the dice. But here's a stat that's very interesting. And that is the amount of medical debt in our country. And it's really stayed about the same here the last couple of years, but it is truly $225 billion of medical debt. Unpaid hospital bills, doctor bills, surgeon bills, all kinds of things. So what they do is they take the debt and they break it down into age groups. And the second largest holder of that medical debt are people that are Medicare eligible. So medical debt, Medicare eligible people. So the point is, it just shows you that then when people go with A and B only or nothing, and they have a serious health problem, they're going to file bankruptcy. They're going into foreclosure. They're going to have problems.
My guess, Real Steel 8113, is that you haven't probably had anything real important come up.
And I hope you never did.
Yeah, of course.
I hope that works out.
Yeah, hopefully it works out perfectly.
Hey, you know what? I've had homeowners insurance now for 40 years? My home's never burned down, but I'm not about to cancel my homeowner's policy just in case. I don't want the risk of having to rebuild it. And so that's what's going on. He's just taking the risk, and it's worked out. Yeah. And again, I hope it does his whole life. No problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Susanna, we maybe answered this a little bit already, but Susanna Gorbani, and she's on our Instagram. Asked this: what is the average monthly payment on a G plan and an N plan?
Yeah, I would say average right now, Josh, you about $150.
Yeah,
average.
Yeah. Some states it's gonna be a little higher. Some for a G. Some states it's gonna be a little lower, and then N is $40 a month average. Cheaper.
$40-$50 a month cheaper.
110.
Right.
Also, it depends on how old you are a little bit as well.
Right. Well, let's talk.
We're talking about somebody who's turning 65.
True. That's right. Someone's 68, they're going to pay a little bit more. But let's just talk about where we are. I live in Missouri, just right across the state line. Josh lives in Kansas. Our office is here in Kansas. And so I got a G plan in January, and I pay $212 a month for my G plan. That same G plan is about probably $140 in Kansas, maybe $150 at most. Well, what's the difference? Same coverage, same bills, same everything. The difference is Missouri has a rule as it relates to no underwriting required for 60 days every year. Kansas doesn't have that rule, doesn't have that law. Now, most states call that law a birthday rule. Missouri calls it anniversary rule. So it's not tied to my birthday, it's tied to the anniversary of my policy. So every year, January is 30 days before, 30 days after. I could switch plans, like to like, not like to less, but like to like only. And I can change carriers.
What does that mean?
That means I can move from a G plan to a G plan.
Okay.
I could not move from a G to an N.
Okay.
So I can, most states are, like
so
to like.
From a
like
different
to like.
carrier to a different carrier, but with the same plan.
Same plan. Okay. That's the anniversary rule. And so what happens, because the insurance carriers are forced to take on that risk, they've got to build that risk inside of the premium. And so I'm paying for that every single month, about $60, $65.
Yeah.
And so when these states go to these birthday rules and they think they're helping the consumer, they are helping some consumers, the ones that are really unhealthy, but they're not helping the average consumer. Because they got to build that in.
I was talking to somebody about this birthday rule issue, and he was saying primary money behind all that in all the states, which again is driving up the cost of supplemental plans, is the Advantage plan companies. They're they're funding all that because it takes risk off of them, right?
That's exactly right.
Allows people who are unhealthy on their books to go elsewhere.
Yeah, that's right. If they cancel their plan. I mean, look, 2.5 million people lost their Advantage plan last year, and the majority of those had an opportunity to go into a Med Sup plan, no underwriting.
I wonder how many of them did.
Well, not very many. That's the truth.
Many.
I think 10%, 15% at most. But they were all eligible, and the reason they didn't is couldn't afford it, or they couldn't even think about paying a premium for something that's been zero forever.
Free.
Exactly
no
right.
Cost,
but it is true. Those Advantage plans are allowed to transfer that risk into the system, and supplemental people have to pick it up. Okay. So.
Lisa says she's inside of our Facebook group. Guys, if you go to Facebook and just type in Medicare School Community, you can type that in, join that group. You'll be asked to answer a couple of questions. We, make sure you're not a Medicare sales agent, that sort of stuff. We want real people on Medicare in this group asking their questions from each other, getting help and assistance. So go check that out. But Lisa Cooper says, if I suspend my BC Blue Cross Blue Shield federal employee health benefit, so she's a government employee,
right,
and get on an Advantage plan, will there be any requirements or underwriting to go through if I want to restart my FEHB a few years later?
Yeah, absolutely not. In fact, we have a lot of people who decide to do that. So when you suspend it, it just simply means you're going to notify OPM of your decision. There's a form you have to fill out, and you suspend your FEHB benefits, and you can get a normal market plan, Advantage plan. And then if you don't like that decision, this is really what's good about people in her situation. If she doesn't like the decision, any year during the Medicare open enrollment season, she can cancel her Medicare Advantage plan effective 12/31, and she goes right back to FEHB on January 1st. They have to take her back. They will take her back. She just simply suspended. When they suspend, what happens is the way federal employees are paid, they get an annuity payment, civil service annuity. So that their insurance premium comes out of that annuity. When they suspend, then OPM drops that premium. So their annuity check goes up.
Really?
That's the purpose of that form. Exactly.
How much do they get?
Well, it just depends how long they've served in the federal government. But most people right now are paying about, for like a couple, they're paying between about $600 to $700 a month for their FEHB. Now, there's some paying a little bit lower than that.
So they get to drop that, which then turns around and just basically raises their annuity payment.
Exactly right.
And if if they go on a no-cost Advantage plan, then they get a $600 pay raise, $7,200 a year.
Yeah, exactly right. So
It's kind of nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and some will do that, for sure. Especially those that are healthy. And the neat thing about it is it's not permanent. She can go back anytime she wants.
Now, if you go on a supplemental plan, like a Medigap, like a Plan G or a Plan N, that is truly permanent?
You have to terminate.
Your FEHB.
Now, again, now if someone didn't turn the OPM form in, that wouldn't terminate it. But they're way overinsured.
Sure, then they're spending too much.
And I've had plenty of people in my career, and since we've been in this business, that didn't like their FEHB options, and sometimes they're not that great. In fact, regularly people tell us what they're paying, and the regular med sup market beats that all day long. But what happens is people still are afraid to check the box saying, I want to terminate this, because it truly is permanent. Yeah. So that's kind of the pushback there. And I tell people, hey, don't do this if you're not comfortable. Just stay doing what you're doing, or suspend and take a regular Advantage plan. But there's plenty that will check the box, so they realize their FEHB option is just lousy.
Kelly Willoughby, will Medicare Part B and supplemental plan cover Repatha if given in the doctor's office?
Okay.
What is Repatha for?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard of it for sure, Repatha.
Times.
I was thinking maybe like a autoimmune type of a situation.
Repatha, let's see.
Yeah, why don't you look it up?
Repatha, it lowers bad cholesterol, reduces the risk of, it's a...
Okay. Well, okay, so here's what I would do. Josh, once you put in there real quickly, go to Medicare.gov and see if it's covered by D plans.
Yeah.
Because just because a medication would be given in a doc's office, if that's not the normal way Repatha would be administered, then B's not going to cover it. But if B, if people normally get Repatha,
it's generally covered by Part D.
That's what I was thinking. So I think what she's asking is, hey, if I could get my doctor to do it, then could it be covered under Part B? And the answer to that would be yes, but they're not going to. Yeah. So if it's generally covered by D plans, that means it's self-administered. Even if you were to figure out a way to have your doctor do it, it doesn't make it automatically covered by Part B. So I would say the answer to that question is no. I have seen a couple of meds where it could go, either way, but that's so rare. It's usually either B or D. And just for everyone to know, as we talk about this, the meds that are covered by B are those meds that are professionally administered. So, I mean, someone else gave that medication to you. And that's what she's asking, if I went to the doc and they did it. But it's not going to work that way. So our D meds are what we take on our own. We pick up at pharmacy or get through the mail order. So that's the difference. D covers self-administered meds. B, professionally administered medications.
Carrie from our Facebook group says, would Lifeline, I'm guessing what's Lifeline? Maybe she means Lifelite. I don't know.
What's her,
would Lifeline transport to and from doctor's appointments be covered by Medicare? And if so, how do I get these paid as I'm being billed directly?
Wow.
Lifeline. It must be some transportation service. I doubt it.
Right. Well, no.
Maybe some Medicare Advantage plans.
Yeah, that's right.
But you'd have to use whatever that Advantage plan would,
right.
I would assume.
Yeah, your Medicare Advantage plan would have a transportation benefit if you're on a dual eligible plan, which is Medicare, Medicaid. There may be some general Medicare Advantage plans that would have transportation benefit, but that is not the norm.
Yeah.
Normally, when we see a transportation benefit, it is a dual eligible plan, Medicare, Medicaid. Yeah.
Okay, Sharon Guzik. Can a plan change their premiums at any time, or is only at the beginning of the year? And is there a difference between supplemental plans and Advantage plans in that respect?
Okay. All right. Well, so they can change anytime. However, the normal is a rate increase once a year. Now, people that are on UHC feel like they get a rate increase twice a year, but it really is not. I know it goes up, okay, but what happens with United Healthcare is, let me explain real quickly so everyone understands. And by the way, that's just one company we write for. This is unique to them. United Healthcare gives people what they call an enrollment discount. So what they do is they start a rate at, I think it's at 80 or 81 years old, and they discount that down to to 65. So they get about a 39% discount. Then every year they remove 3% of that discount once someone reaches 68. So if I'm 80, 81, I get a heavy discount. That rate will not adjust because of my age from 65 to 68. But once I hit 69, then that discount that was 39% is now 36%. Then the next year it's 33%, then 30%. It works its way back up to 80, then that enrollment discount is gone. And they do that at the policy anniversary. The enrollment discounts remove 3%. But they can also, as all the companies, they can take a group increase. That's normally April, May of every year. So it does look like they're getting 2 price increases because one's tied to anniversary of the policy, and then one's tied to when Healthcare takes this, it's a general increase. And that's frustrating. But my whole point in sharing all that with you is that the majority of companies just take an increase once a year at the policy anniversary. That would be the norm. Now, when it comes to Advantage, those are annual plans, and so they readjust their coverage every year. And so we can change plans October 15th to December 7th, but that new plan kicks in January 1, and now I have my new terms. And again, they don't usually raise premiums. What they do is they raise copays, they raise coinsurance, they raise max out-of-pockets. That's how Medicare Advantage companies are going to make their adjustments.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Robinson, in the video, I believe you said you're on the G, you personally. You own a company with over 20 employees. Why don't you take your own business health insurance? Good question.
Exactly right. Well, because I know a policy that we provide, or that if I were to buy one here, is between about $1,500 a month or $1,200 a month.
Yeah, for a family.
Yeah, for a family. And so it just
it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's just cheaper
and better coverage. I mean, you go. Yeah, I mean, Medicare with a Plan G. The max out of pocket is $283 a year. You could have $1 million worth of bills. You're going to pay $283. So I'm not trying to jump in and to explain to everyone, but if the premium is somewhat similar or maybe even a little less, it just makes sense if you're over 65.
Right.
Now, some people, their premium is paid by the company. In your instance, you'd be paying the premium yourself, right? So you're going to pay the full cost of it. But if the premium is paid by the company and you're paying, $47 a paycheck and, it's got a $1,500 deductible, well, yeah, then you're probably going to stay on that for as long as you're working. But in a business owner's case, you're paying the full cost of the premium. Company's not helping out with anything.
Right.
And so
it just made sense financially. Even with an IRMA, it just made sense. So, but a lot of people, as you said, if they're an employee, it probably doesn't at times.
Yeah.
But that's why.
Okay, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to get to the phones. We had an issue with the phone system, so callers weren't getting through. So we are going to do one more of these comments, and I think we've got a caller ready.
Okay.
Mackenzie River Girl said, so many people in my community and friends have struggled with their Advantage plans due to the high turnover of providers, prior approval delays, and constantly moving goals. I'm very grateful to have discovered your YouTube channel and for the excellent education and support Medicare School offers freely to people. I'm confident in the strategy your agent helped me to build, and I'm ready to hit the ground running with Medicare.
Good.
That wasn't really a question. Other than to say thanks, Mackenzie.
Yes, well, thank you, and we appreciate the opportunity to serve you.
Let's speak to just to the beginning of her comment. So many people in my community and friends have struggled with their Advantage plans due to the high turnover of providers, prior approval delays, and constantly moving goalposts. Maybe. Speak to what she means by that.
Yeah, this is a real common problem. What happens is for a provider to take an Advantage plan, they enter into a contract. And so part of that contract is their agreement to what they're going to get paid for their services. And so what happens is Medicare Advantage offers to providers volume, but they pay less. Of course, the highest amount of pay is private health insurance. Medicare would be second, and then your Medicare Advantage is going to be third for sure. And not only that, they have prior approvals to work through. That's frustrating. Why? They have to pay someone to take care of all those prior approvals, and then ongoing reviews as they get care. So doctors get in that system and they think it's going to be helpful for their practice. Ends up not. Why? Low pay, slow pay, and administrative burdens. And so it just doesn't work out. Now some still will take it, and they work through it. But that's why people come and go. Hey, we have a hospital, Josh, in our area. I don't know if you know this or not, but North Kansas State Hospital, they take one Advantage plan. That's it. So if you're on anything else, they will not take it.
Oh,
Okay.
so you better be on Medicare.
And that
Original.
is not uncommon throughout the country. So as we work with people and we find out, they have 5 to 6, 7 doctors or more, and a couple hospital choices that they like, it is difficult today to find one advanced plan that's going to really facilitate them. They have to change doctors, and that's frustrating to people.
Okay, let's get to our call.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to the show. What's your name?
My name's Sandy.
Hi, Sandy. Where are you from?
Sandy.
I'm from Orofino, Idaho.
Idaho. Well,
very good.
welcome. What can we do for you, Sandy?
Oh, my question is, I'm taking early retirement. I'm retiring at 65 instead of full retirement age of 67. I was just curious, is there any kind of penalty for enrolling in Medicare if you're not at full retirement age?
No, those are really two totally, separate decisions. So, for retirement age for you, like me, where you and I are born probably the same year or close, is 67. So that's our Social Security decision. And so, if you take early, you're going to lose about 12% of your monthly benefit, but you're going to have 2 years worth of checks as well. So, but when it comes to Medicare, that is normally at 65. In fact, really the only people that are able to start Medicare prior to 65 are those that have been on disability, or they were diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease or permanent kidney failure. So people do start Medicare at 65. There's no penalty, whatsoever, starting at that age.
Okay.
When you do start, because you are not, so if you were to be on Social Security, right, you would be automatically enrolled into Medicare, A and B, as you're turning 65. But if not, you do have to self-enroll. You can do that pretty easily online. When do you turn 65, Sandy?
November 1st.
November 1st. So we're going to do, let's see, when can she do that real quick?
Her start date will be October 1, so just back up the clock 3, so they'd be 9,
So because
8,
you are born on the first day of the month, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but because you're born on the first day of the month, you are actually eligible for Medicare a month early. So your first day would be October 1st in terms of when you can have your Medicare benefits start. And then she can enroll when?
She can start enrolling well. If you want to tie your Social Security application to your Medicare, you want to do it all at the same time, you could start doing that after June 1. Is that what you're planning on, Sandy, to do them all at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So after June 1, you can enroll, because you get to start 4 months for Social Security. It's 3 months for Medicare. But they will ask you the Medicare questions during your Social Security application. So it's a great time to do it. And you'll get your first check then in November. That's the way it's going to work.
Okay.
You'll get it by the second Wednesday
I
of
didn't
the
know
month.
that.
Okay. Yeah, it's always based upon.
So will she get a premium for the month of October if Medicare starts in October?
Oh, yeah.
Will she get a bill for that?
No, she won't.
For
What
Part B?
they'll do is they'll take out October, November out of her November Social Security check.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 months the first time.
So she enrolls June 1st in Social Security. There's going to be a question there that asks, do you want to enroll in Part B?
Right.
You're going to mark yes to that.
Yes.
Your Part A and B benefits would then start October the 1st. She'd get her first check
by the second week of November.
And it would have two of your
months-
Medicare Part B premiums, which is how much? $203?
$202.90.
$202.90, $203.
Yeah.
So you're going to have about a $406 deduction come out of that first check for the months of October, November.
That's right.
And then it would just be $203 after
Yep.
that.
Yeah. Now, Sandy, are you single or married?
Married.
Married, okay. Is your all's income below $218,000 a year?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Most people it is. I just asked because what Josh said was right. Your premium will be $202.90 a month. If you're above, as a couple, $218,000, there's a surcharge called an IRMA, but you won't deal with that, and most people don't. But that's the way it's going to work. So
Are you leaning towards a Medicare Advantage or a Medicare Supplement, or where's kind of your head right now on that stuff?
I'm really just starting to look into it.
Okay.
Hey,
What I'm going to need, because I'm going to be going from an employer
Sure.
healthcare coverage to Medicare. So I think there's a lot of twists and turns in there that I'm going to have to figure out.
Have you watched it's about an hour long. Have you watched our workshop? It kind of covers, we call it Medicare Essentials Workshop. It's on our website. It's for free.
have you seen that, Sandy?
Does that ring a bell?
No, I haven't,
Okay,
but I will.
Go to
look it
MedicareSchool.com, and then up in the top right-hand corner it says, I think, free workshop or something like that. Sign up for that and watch that. It's a really good way. It's just a good about a 1 hour overview, and you'll come away with that with a good understanding of how to enroll, when to enroll, what the differences are between all the different plan types, what gaps there are financially, what your risk is, how to get a drug plan, all of that sort of stuff. So I think that's a good kind of free resource.
Yeah. I hope you watch it. I think it'll be really helpful. I think it'll give you the confidence you need to start understanding how the system works. And then if you do, when you're ready, if you want some help, we'd be happy to help you with all of the above. Everything, even your Social Security enrollment, we know how to tie that into the Medicare enrollment for you.
We'll walk you through the whole process. So we've got a team of people here. Obviously, we do a lot of education and stuff, but we do, if you want help you enroll and compare all the different plan options, we can hold your hand through it. We do it every day, all day long.
Yeah, and I would suspect that Idaho is going to be primarily a Medicare supplemental state, just because it takes a large population to make Medicare Advantage plans work. Not a lot of networks and things.
Which part of Idaho are you in?
North Central.
Okay.
All right.
About the only place in the country, I've been to, I think, 49 states.
Really?
I've been to Idaho, but the one place I really want to go is like Coeur d'Alene, because everybody talks about how beautiful it is. I haven't been there. I've been almost everywhere else.
Yeah.
I've been almost everywhere else.
That's one of my favorite places.
It looks so beautiful.
Hey, we watched a documentary on John Elway the other night, and it showed his place in Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
Sure.
So good documentary as well. So it's good.
Okay. So if we can, can I give you our office phone number if you need help? Like personally? Sure. Okay. That phone number is 833-833-3661, 833-833-3661. Yeah, if you can, we've got, 50 licensed agents here, licensed in all 50 states. Love to help you if we can.
Yeah.
So
let us know, and no cost
awesome.
either for our services. We're like most insurances, insurance companies pay us, not you. So,
you have any other questions before we let you go?
No, I think that's it today.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll have many, but
you will. You'll start with that workshop. That's a good place to start. Okay.
And thanks for calling too.
Take care.
Enjoy talking to you, Sandy.
All right. Thank you for your help.
Yes, you're welcome.
And bye.
Bye.
All right, let's get to our next caller. Well, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Who am I speaking with, and where are you calling from?
Tim from Illinois.
All right, sir. Well, good to have you on the show today. Ken, is it Kent or Ken?
Tim, T-I-M.
Okay, very good. I got it, Tim. My bad. I misunderstood you there. What question do you have for me, sir?
Well, it's just a little bit of knowledge I need. For the life of me, I'm having a hard time. For some reason, wrapping my head around this Medicare stuff. I've talked to different people other than you guys, and then I talked to you guys. I talked to David Straylow.
Yes, sir.
I actually have a meeting. I actually have another meeting with him next Friday to supposedly finalize everything.
Okay.
I have not signed up for A yet or B. I'm still kind of undecided. Still working. Large company, over 20 people. Mm-hmm. So I'm learning also a lot of stuff from watching your videos and stuff like that also. But basically, I heard you say something about if it's a good idea to do A only type thing. If you don't want to do B, if you still have credible work coverage.
And that is true. Yeah, we encourage people to do A only, as long as they're working, large employer as you are, 20 or more employees on the payroll, and they do not have an HSA, a health savings account.
No.
Okay, and you don't.
No, I have no HSA.
Okay,
now, I heard from somebody today that said that your employer can take over the B part, and Medicare A would pay first or whatever. And I said, no, I don't think so, because I heard from somebody that said your employer would be first payer, and Medicare A would cover the second payer. They would cover maybe some of the co-insurance.
And that is true. And then that is true. Whenever you have 20 or more employees on the payroll, you're still working, then that company plan does pay first. Medicare moves to the second payer position. So if we did have a hospital claim, which is, of course, Part A, they would only pay co-insurance. They wouldn't pay any your deductible. They wouldn't pay any co-pays. But if you do have co-insurance, and most people do, then your Medicare would cover a portion of that, or maybe even all of the co-insurance responsibility. You know, so if the company pays 80, you pay 20, or company pays 90 and you pay 10, Medicare will actually coordinate benefit on the co-insurance.
Even if you're out of pocket, is that met?
Say one more time.
Even if your total max out of pocket is not met.
Exactly right. That's my understanding. I'm just saying to you, I know they will not cover your deductible, they will not cover co-pays, but they will share in the co-insurance portion. Yeah, I don't think you have to reach your max before Medicare is going to pay. I think if there's a co-insurance balance, then I believe Medicare is going to participate in that. So point is, if you go to the hospital and you're still working, give them both cards. Give them your company plan and give them your Medicare card, and they'll file the claim, and then Medicare is going to share in that bill on the co-insurance.
Okay. Also, I mean, to me it seems like a no-brainer to switch, but as far as I'm $1,250 deductible right now, and $5,500 out of pocket. As of last week, we just having our open enrollment within the next 2 weeks. So I don't know if it's changed or not. I haven't even talked to the
sure. What is the company plan? What's the company plan cost you? What are you paying for it?
I'm paying right now is probably $260 something every pay period, which is every 2 weeks. So about $520.
Oh wow,
$520 something a month.
Are you the only one on the plan, or you're the only one on, or is there a spouse?
I am.
Or no? Okay.
No, good. I am. I couldn't put my wife on it for the last probably umpteen years because the way it went up.
Okay.
I used to pay this much for both of us, and then it went up and like almost doubled. I doubled. I couldn't put her on my plan. She's on her own plan. She's not even close to. She's not even close to retirement anyway.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Okay, is your all's income below $218,000 a year as a couple?
Oh yeah. No,
okay, that sounds good. Well, I will tell you, to me, it's almost a no-brainer. I mean, you're going to get a much better value. You're going to have a much lower deductible, for sure. So, hey, it's time to do it. When's your birthday?
June.
Okay, very good. So if I were you, I'd be starting that plan 6/1/2026. You have a life-changing event. Your company has to let you go on Medicare for sure, and that's what I would do. You're going to save money, and you're going to have better coverage.
Is there still time? I mean, as far as getting the AV card and getting the supplement.
You're fine. I promise you. Yeah, you can do it. Your effective date is going to be 6/1, so I mean we're not even to April yet. So you're good to go from now. And you said you're going to meet with someone, I guess, next week or so. So you're fine.
He quoted me on a couple. What was another question I had on one of the companies? He quoted me Medical, which I've never heard of actually. Yeah. And he quoted me Cigna.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are Plan G and Plan N.
Good.
150 something for Cigna, 112 for Plan N. And the question I had about Cigna is that still a pretty reputable company, even though they went through the changeover with Health Springs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would not be at all concerned about it. I actually went with them as well. I just started Medicare in January. So the HealthSpring acquisition, in my opinion, was a fine thing. Cigna's been around a lot of years. Healthcare Service Corporation bought them, paid over $3 billion for them. So they're not going to come in and do some major disruptions with that size of a purchase. So I think you're fine. I promise you, it's who I went with. Now, listen, I'm not promoting them. I mean, Medico's a good company owned by Wellaby. We write business for United Healthcare. We write business for Aetna. We write business for Mutual of Omaha. I mean, we write for lots of carriers. So it just depends on where you are, because some carriers will be very competitive in one market and not so somewhere else. So I'm going to go with a carrier that is competitive because they're going to have a larger market share, and that, in essence, for you should be a better probability of stable rates. So I think, but both those are really good options. Let me share this with you just so you're familiar with it. When you start your Medicare, remember you're going to be on a direct bill for your Part B premium. And so, because you're not taking Social Security yet, and it's not time to yet, if you're going to wait, that's fine. But they will bill you directly on your Part B premium, and your first premium is going to be due May 25th. And so that first bill could be 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or 5 months. So the first bill, we never know we're going to get until it shows up. When I started Medicare in January, my bill was the 5 month, but someone else gets a 2 month, someone else 3, 4, 5 months. And so I just want to make sure. Go ahead.
Where's the bill coming from?
It's going to come from the Social Security Administration, through Medicare, but it'll be due the 25th of May. And so what I would suggest doing in that situation is I would pay that first month's bill, and then after that I would enroll, and I did this. I would enroll into Medicare Easy Pay. It's a very good system. And so once you paid your first bill and then you enroll into Medicare Easy Pay, then they'll start drafting out of a checking account or savings account on a monthly basis. So you don't have the hassle with, paying these quarterly bills to Medicare. And then right before you decide to take your Social Security benefits, we always encourage people cancel the Easy Pay 30 days before you start taking Social Security. So they'll stop drafting out of your bank account, and they'll start taking it out of Social Security. Okay, and Dave would know all this for sure.
See that? He said he learned from you. You taught him everything he knows. So
well, he's a great guy too. So hard worker and honest. So you're in good hands there.
The thing is, I'm sure I am. The other thing is that would be a problem doing having a bill sent to me for more than 1 month.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of other bills to pay, and that would be a problem of paying multiple months at one time.
Okay, I understand that.
Would it be possible to just pay a month at a time?
You can. Now, then the way you can do that is when they send the bill to you, you can go in, and if you have a mymedicare.gov account, Medicare.gov, this is not SSA.gov, it's Medicare.gov, and you have a Medicare.gov account, you should be able to go in there and pay 1 month's premium, and then at the same time enroll into Medicare Easy Pay. That's the way I would do that. Okay, and I think you'll be fine.
But see, the easy pay doesn't work either because every place we go to says, you can make easy pay and take automatic take out of your checking account, and she doesn't want to do that.
Okay,
because we have to know how much we have to make sure that the money's in there for that.
Yes, sir.
For them.
I understand. Okay, so then what I would recommend then is just going in on a monthly basis into your Medicare.gov and paying that monthly premium. You should be able to do that. Okay, but just make sure you stay on top of that and pay that month prior. So pay that 1 month when it's due by May 25th, and then be sure that you go into your account every month and then pay it electronically. And I think you'll be fine. Okay, yeah, I do. I think that'll work. Okay. All right. Any other question before I let you go? I got another caller here, but I'm happy to answer anything. Go right.
One more question.
Go ahead. No problem.
I have to discuss all this with my wife. I've been in the process of talking to her and showing her the outlines that David sent me and stuff as far as how much it's going to cost and everything. Mm-hmm. If by chance I stay on my work plan and don't don't do the whole Medicare thing. I mean, I could do Medicare Part A because it's free.
Right.
But if I don't do the B and the supplement plan, I could do it at a later date. But would I have to wait until the birth date, or is that where the January to March falls in?
No, it has nothing to do with that. What happens is if you stay on your group plan, and let's say you work 2 more years, 3 more years, whatever, what you'll want to do is when you set that retirement date and you know when your group plan is going to end, what I would recommend, I would then 60 to 90 days prior to losing your employer plan, that's when you reach out to us or whoever you're going to reach out to us and let us know you're ready to get everything going, and we'll help you with all that paperwork because it is a different process. It's called the SEP enrollment. So again, let me say it's 60 to 90 days before you lose the group plan. Let us know, and we'll help you get everything set up at that time. Okay, but honestly, you do what you want. But when I see here you're paying $520 a month, I mean you're probably going to save $150 a month, maybe even a little bit more if you went with that end plan. So I just think it's such a great financial move for you to go on Medicare. And by the way, I want you to know, hey, there's plenty of people. I tell them stay on your group plan. It's a better option. But for you, you're just simply paying too much for that. It's too expensive.
No, I hear you. That's what everybody says. It's just,
Yep. It's just not a good value.
I just got to put all the chips on the table here and say, here it is. This is what we got to do.
Yeah, well, you're in good hands with David, and we'll always be here for you. We have every client of ours assigned customer service person to be able to reach out to when you have problems. So we don't just write a plan and say, hey, see you later, have a great life. We have a wonderful customer service team that's here for you. So again, things change. People have issues that come up, and so we'll always be here to serve you in any way that we can. Okay?
Okay, but you still think it's a good idea just to get, if I can, in the long run, to get to do Plan A only, probably, right? For sure, right?
No, I'm not saying that at all. No, I think you ought to go on. You mean if you stay on the group plan?
If I stay on my group plan, you're saying I should do A only?
Absolutely, everyone should, unless they're contributing to a health savings account. Yeah, get in the system.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. Do A only if you decide not to, go on Medicare at this time. Get the A. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Marvin.
Well, nice to talk to you. Okay. Appreciate it very much.
All right.
Have a good rest of your day, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. We are going to be back here tomorrow. There's actually a huge mistake that 28% of you, so let's call it 1 out of 3 people, plan to make. Okay, according to a kind of a shocking statistic, a shocking number that came out last year, actually. So 1 out of 3 of you are planning to make this really big mistake as you begin Medicare. So we're going to be talking about that because obviously we want to help you avoid making that mistake. If you want to be on the show anytime, call us 833-824-2004. We'd love to speak to you, answer your questions. If you need immediate help with your Medicare situation, you want to talk to one of our licensed agents. We're licensed in all 50 states. Our services are completely free to you, helping get enrolled in Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare Supplement plans, Plan G, Plan N, drug plans, dental plans, whatever it is, healthcare insurance related, enroll in Social Security, fill out government forms, whatever it is, we would love to help. The way to get in touch with somebody on our team is call into our office. We're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central every day. Phone number is 833-3661, 833-3661, and we look forward to helping you. So we'll see you tomorrow.